Hello everyone and welcome to the latest Handyman in the Field. This week we are talking more about some homeowner advice. So this video we are specifically talking about 5 home repairs you should never ignore. One of the biggest mistakes I see homeowners make is essentially ignoring something or having something or trying to do the repair themselves, and they put it off and they put it off and they put it off, and it's just taking way too long. Many expensive repairs start as very small, inexpensive problems, and they can easily be taken care of if you address them right away. Today, I want to talk about 5 specific things that I recommend to homeowners to never let go longer than they need to be. You need to take care of them sooner than later. So the first one is water leaks. Now, this could come in a variety of different things. The one that I probably see most often is something like a leak or watermarks underneath a sink vanity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a consistent leak. It probably means that one of the seals are bad when you fill the drain up and you push the drain down and the water goes out all at once. That's when you're actually getting spots. The problem is that if that seal is broken, it will eventually become a bigger issue as time progresses. There's so many different types of water leaks. You've got dripping faucets, which is typically a bad cartridge. A cartridge can most of the time be fixed or replaced, and then it'll save you the cost of having to replace the entire faucet. However, if you let it go too long and you start to get corrosion inside of or on the outside edge of the faucet itself, then you're looking at replacing the faucet, which is going to be more expensive. Leaking supply lines, again, underneath your vanities or underneath your kitchen cabinets, you're starting to see water spots because the supply lines are leaking from either where it's connected to the faucet or where it's connected to the shutoff valve. Any slow leak under a sink. So this has to do with drains, faucets, supply lines. Any of that stuff should be taken care of immediately, because you run in the risk of not taking care of it right away and it becoming a bigger problem. I've had multiple customers who do not address it right away, or I've had multiple customers who it wasn't their property initially. I come in after they move in and the vanity base has to essentially be replaced because it's rotted out because of so much water damage. The one that probably is not ignored as often as you would think is running toilets. I think most people hear that toilet running when they're not in the bathroom, and that's something that they immediately think of and say, oh, I need to get that taken care of. But that's another one. Ultimately, if you've got a leaky faucet, you've got leaky supply lines, you've got a running toilet, anything like that at all, your water bill is going to be higher. Now, you may have a situation where maybe you don't have a water bill, but it's still something that needs to be addressed. If you don't have a water bill, chances are you're on a well, and if you're on a well, you're probably not having the best quality of water, which means water coming in contact with your fixtures are also going to cause issues down the line. So it's something that takes to take in mind, or to keep in mind. Another thing that I don't notice a lot of people paying attention to is water stains. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to do with a water leak per se. However, it does have to do with the fact that there is probably water somewhere. A lot of times I'll get a customer who will call me and say, I've got a spot on my ceiling. I just need it touched up with some paint. And that's fine, but I want to make sure that it's not soft drywall before I put on any paint. And I want to make sure that whatever was causing the leak has actually been resolved. Because if it hasn't been, you're not doing yourselves any favors whatsoever. Covering it up is not going to solve the problem. A lot of times in certain edges, if you look and you see something on like the seam of a room, chances are if you go outside and you look, there could be a wall meeting the roof line and there's an issue with the flashing. Now, I personally don't do any sort of flashing work, but that means you need to get a roofer in there to take a look at it to make sure that everything's sealed up properly. That's also the perfect place for those of us in the north who have snow and ice. That's where ice damming takes place. And that happens more often than not where water just gets behind the flashing because snow gets built up and it melts and goes underneath the flashing. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to that stuff. An easiest way too is by making sure that if you see a water stain, you address it right away and you take care of it. Water damage happens a lot of times where you don't see it. So when you do see it, it's probably already been happening for quite some time. Moisture in the walls and on wood that's organic material, that can cause mold. Damage cabinets if it rots through. Flooring, drywall, framing, all of that stuff can be damaged by water. So a small leak today can become a major restoration problem later if you don't address it. So if you notice where water is, you notice water somewhere where it shouldn't be, don't wait. That's something you should be addressed. If you can't figure out what it is, call somebody who can. Let's go into number two. Number two is going to be a little bit quicker. We've got loose railings and steps. Most of the time, this isn't as huge of a thing, but you got deck railings, porch railings, stair handrails, loose exterior steps if you've got a wooden deck. These are safety hazards for families and guests. They can create a massive liability if someone gets hurt. Usually, it's very easy to repair by tightening them up before you end up with structural issues. But if you have someone come out and take a look and try to tighten something up, it could alert you to a structural problem. If you have a loose stair on a deck, it could be because oh man, it's escaping my head. There could be rotted wood underneath the stair. And if that's the case, you need to get that addressed, either reinforced or repaired completely, or replaced for that matter. You don't necessarily always know where to look, but this is a way for you to find out about these things. A loose handrail inside, you can rattle your handrail, that's not safe. You have somebody who has mobility issues and they're using the rail and they actually try to grab that rail and they use their entire weight because they're trying to catch themselves. They fall, they hurt themselves. That's a huge liability concern that you don't want to necessarily deal with. So if something moves that shouldn't, have it repaired. Repair number 3, exterior wood rot. This is a big one, and where I'm at, the only time you ever hear about this is like in the middle of summer, because at that point, people have been outside long enough, they start to see stuff that they wouldn't necessarily see. But this is door trim, window trim, fascia boards, porch posts, garage trim, the trim around your actual garage door. Those are all things that you need to be paying attention to. Water will continue to get into wood if it's not sealed properly, and then rot will spread over time. What could be something as simple as just replacing one board can turn into a much larger thing with replacing framing or larger sections of wood. In some cases, there's wood that is designed to take the brunt of the weather and protect the wood behind it. If it's supposed to be protecting the wood behind it, the idea is that as soon as that first piece has damage, it's no longer giving that protection to the more important wood that could be structural. I just saw a deck today, actually, that it's a enclosed porch on the second floor, and underneath is completely open to just an open deck. And there's a big piece of fascia board, which weirdly enough is a 2x12 as a piece of fascia, but it is rotted in a certain spot. And the only reason the homeowner even had any idea that it was happening was because she was actually getting it painted, and the painter brought it to her attention. These are things that, again, if you address it before it gets too bad, it can be, it might be able to be taken care of very easily. This specific situation, she's going to have certain pieces of wood replaced because it's just too far gone. Now, the plus is that she has maintained the paint. So outside of this one spot that's rotted, the entire thing is not going to have to get replaced, but it's not going to look as clean as if it didn't have to get replaced at all. Paint and caulk are your home's first line of defenses against water and basically weather penetration. So keep that in mind. Repair number 4, electrical warning signs. If you have an outlet that doesn't work, you see something that's flickering, like lights are flickering, whether they're plugged in as a lamp or above lights. Breakers are constantly tripping. GFCIs that won't reset when you hit the reset button, or anything gets warm. These are immediate things that you need to get addressed. These things can cause massive problems. Electricity can cause sparks if not working correctly, and sparks can obviously lead to fires. If that's the situation, you do not want to be in a scenario where you're potentially starting a fire in your house because you didn't take care of something that you noticed was wrong. Now, again, sometimes you're not always going to notice there's an outlet that's out if you're not using the outlet. But as soon as an outlet's not working, or you try to reset it because of GFCI in your bathroom or your kitchen and it's not resetting, that's something you should be concerned with. Those outlets are specifically designed to trip if they're one, faulty, but two, if they're being overused or used incorrectly. If they don't trip properly or they don't reset, then they're faulty and they need to be replaced. Now, chances are if it's not resetting, it's not giving you any power, so you're probably going to want to get replaced if it's something that you use. But that's something to keep in mind, is that you need to address those things before it becomes problems. Electric problems never get better. They never get, they don't fix themselves. They don't, you don't have to, it's not like a weather issue with the exterior wood rot where if you just don't have a lot of weather, well, then you're not going to have to worry about it. No, that's not how electrical issues work. They eventually, if you have a breaker that's constantly tripping, it's because there's probably something down the circuit that has an issue. You have to address that. It could be something where there's a short in something that you're plugging in. It could be the outlet has an issue. You could have, I've seen crazy things where wires were chewed on by mice and now the protective coating that is not on them. Here in Illinois, where I'm at, we have to have conduit installed specifically to protect against stuff like that. Not every place in the United States requires conduit, and I've seen plenty of places overseas that don't require conduit, but that is a thing that you need to worry about sometimes. Whenever somebody says that they have there's a short somewhere in the circuit, if you don't have conduit, it's an absolute pain to try to figure out where it could be, because it could literally be anywhere. That's not obviously something you have to worry about, but the lead is the breaker. If a breaker's tripping, call somebody. I don't deal with anything within inside of a breaker box. That's not something that I do. Now, I will check breakers to see if there's any issues as far as continuity issues or connection issues, but I don't actually change anything having to do with breakers. I have an electrician that I call to take care of that stuff. But GFCIs and that kind of stuff, safety should always come first when it comes to electricity, because you don't want to have a situation where you're ignoring reoccurring electrical issues. The fifth repair that we're going to talk about is failed caulk and sealant. Now, this kind of goes back to the exterior rot, but it also goes in line with a bunch of other things too. So you have caulking around your bathtubs, around your showers. You have it on the inside and outside, but mostly outside of your windows and exterior doors. There's also areas of your siding that has specific areas where it's caulked to make sure that it's not getting into the siding. Caulk is extremely inexpensive compared to the repairs that you could ultimately have to do if something gets too much water in it. Case in point, I see this a lot with showers. You have rot where you have tiles installed around the bathtub. The edge is supposed to be caulked. The edge is not caulked. Well, then what ends up happening is there's water that's getting in. It could be some old cement board that's behind the tile. That cement board is now slowly deteriorating. Now, it might not be a concern right away, but as time progresses, something happens. One of your kids is playing with toys, or something happens where someone falls in the tub and all of a sudden that area gets pushed in. Well, just because it wasn't caulked, now you've got a big gash in the wall because the cement board essentially deteriorated over time because of water penetration. Not everybody has cement board. That's another thing. Some places, I don't do any tile work, but I know that there are some places that use green board in certain areas behind acrylic shower surrounds. And if that's the case, those can deteriorate as well. It just takes longer than obviously typical drywall. So water intrusion is not a cheap thing to fix if you have to fix it. If you have a window that is not properly sealed on the outside of the house and water gets in, you're going to end up with water damage underneath the window. You're going to see it on the drywall, but it's probably already rotted away some of the framing. And to replace a lot of that it can get very costly. The one thing I typically tell people is check sealants every few years, and that can prevent huge repairs. A lot of times people are not paying attention to sealant around windows outside. That's a big one that I see constantly. They just assume that everything's going to be fine, and that's not how it works. So think of caulk as a form of preventative maintenance, and because of that, it will save you on those repairs. Homeownership comes with tons of maintenance. You don't have to fix everything immediately, but you do need to address certain repairs right away. Addressing small issues early can save you thousands of dollars and prevent much larger headaches down the road. I don't know how, I've had plenty of customers who are like, oh, I don't really want to do that right now. I've had plenty of homeowners say like, oh man, it sucks being a homeowner because I didn't realize all the things I was going to have to take care of. That's what a home is. It's an investment. You taking care of your property is an investment to make sure that your investment becomes worth more. Most real estate goes up. That tends to happen. It doesn't just go up because you're letting it sit there and fall apart. It's going up because if you continuously maintain it, it will increase in value. And that ultimately will pay off in the run. So the one thing I want to ask you guys as you're watching this is, what's one repair you've been putting off around your house? Let me know in the comments below. With all of that being said, thank you so much for all the subscribers. Be sure to check out our weekly series, This Week in the Field, if you want to learn more about what happens within my handyman business. With all of that being said, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all of those great things. Appreciate all of the viewers, and we'll see you guys on the next video.